Welcome back to the another video of UiPath RPA project 2. So you can see on your screen about the project details, and I have explained everything in detail in video number 1 of this RPA project. If you have not seen that video, you can find the link in the description of this video. You can just pause your video here and have a look on these details. Here is the schedule for this UiPath RPA project. We have already completed first two videos, and today we will work upon the third video, which is data extraction from website 2. Before I go ahead, I would like to tell you that I have already done one more project which has 6 different videos and 5 different workflows. So if you want to see that project, you can find the link into the description. And please do subscribe my channel for the RPA project and Python automation project. Hit the like button, and if you find this video useful, please share your feedback in the comment. Let's come back to the UiPath RPA project 2, and let's start this data extraction from website 2. So I have already created the UiPath project because we have completed one video. Here is the project. So you can start this main UiPath workflow. And if you are already aware how to create the project in UiPath, please create the project and you can start from this video itself. So we have to add one new workflow file into this UiPath RPA project. You will see the location of your UiPath project here. Give the name to this workflow. So in last video, we have already seen that how to extract the data from Mumbai airport. So you can see here from this, we have seen how to extract the data from these all 4 different apps. Now today, we will extract the data from New Delhi airport website. Okay, here is the table for your quick reference. You have domestic and international options and then arrival and departure. So we have to extract the data for all the combination using UiPath data extraction. First departure and international, departure domestic, arrival international, arrival domestic. Alright, so let's start. So this is Delhi. Now you have to select in the template. I would like to go with flowchart. Create. Alright, and then from here you can set the width of the canvas. And in this UiPath Studio Canvas, you can drag your activities anywhere you want. I would like to start from the corner. And first thing is that we have to open Delhi Airport website. What you can do is you can open the website, and for UiPath activity, the shortcut is Control Shift T. Use application. And I am using modern design into this project. And if you want to use classic design or you want to see how to switch to classic design, you can watch video number 2 in this project. Indicate the application. So once you will indicate the browser application, it will automatically take the URL which is open. So you can see this UiPath use application activity has identified the browser and taken the URL. If you want to change the URL, you can change the URL as per the requirement. So now in this UiPath application scope, what we have to do is we have to create 4 different sequences because we have 4 different combinations: domestic departure, domestic arrival, and then international departure, international arrival. Okay, and this will be our main sequence. So what you can do is F2 is the shortcut key. in UiPath Studio to rename the activities. Daily data extraction. Okay, now add new Control Shift T. Inside this sequence, we have to add another sequence. Sequence. Rename that as EQ. Daily. Why do we keep the naming convention like this in UiPath projects? So that we can understand in the logs that which activity has error. So detailed name will give you good troubleshooting into your project. Sequence daily domestic arrival. Create another sequence. You can copy this from here and paste down. Like this it will come. Daily domestic departure. Now you just have to change the arrival to departure and then copy paste. Then copy the first one again. Paste here. Delhi international arrival. Copy this third one. Paste here. International. Okay. If you have seen the second video of this UiPath RPA project, then you will easily understand this because we have done same steps in previous video also. Okay. So now what we have to do, first we have to click buttons to ensure that we are on the right tab. So domestic and arrivals first of all. We will follow the naming convention, domestic arrival. So take a click activity, click here on indicate, click on domestic. Okay. So you have the selector here and you have the image also. All right. Validate. Validation is successful and confirm. You can follow the same sequence of steps. And now we have to select arrivals. We have taken another UiPath click activity here. UiPath is collecting the element information. When we use UiPath content design, it follows the fuzzy logic. So it search for the selectors, it search for the anchor, and it takes the screenshot also. So there are three different things. Now validate and confirm. All right. So once we have clicked both of these, so you have to ensure one thing that before you are starting the data extraction activity, the right table should be there on your screen. Okay. So just check this before you start data extraction. So now domestic is selected and arrival is also selected. And now we have to have one data table extraction. and the data table extraction will come here. So you should click under this here, add data. You should hover on this and you should try to select the closest region. Select this. Would you like to extract? So UiPath UiPath data extraction activity will give you this pop-up. Would you like to extract all the columns in the table? You say yes. Even after that, you can delete if you want to delete few columns. So belt number I will delete, status I will keep, and there are 489 rows. Okay, and then you can click on save. If you have seen the last video, I have explained there also that it is showing multiple pages, but we don't have multiple page option here. Right? So you can just click on continue. So we have this data extraction result and we have this data extracted data table. So when you will use UiPath data extraction activity, it will automatically store the result in extracted data table. And since this activity is inside our sequence, which is Delhi domestic arrival, you can see I will minimize and maximize again. Double click to maximize. Okay. So same table name we can use in the next sequence also. It will not override the data. Now what we have to do is that we have to write this result into a CSV file. So before that, what we should do, we should create one file path variable because we have to write in the same file again and again. And so and that variable should be available for main sequence for this sequence. Okay, so come outside and when you are on this Delhi data extraction, I will just rename this once again, all Delhi data extraction. Okay, and then you create one variable. I am creating this variable with in because in future I will convert this variable into the input arguments. Okay, and let's give a default file name value.csv. All right, let's go back to the first domestic arrival sequence and we will use here write CSV activity. And we already have the variable in. So when we will take this argument value from the main workflow, which might be the date and timestamp, we will not have to change anything. We just have to convert this variable into the argument. So you will see that in fourth video, our data table is extracted data table here. And one more activity you can write just for the logging purpose. Take log message. Delhi domestic arrival rows. And after that, you can just take the row count. Take the data table rows dot count dot toString. Okay, so it will show us that how many rows are there. You don't worry about this warning message. So when we will run this file 2 3 times, it will automatically go off. So let me run this file now just to test that if it is working fine or not. And for elaboration, what I will do is come to the use browser activity and As of now, for testing purpose, I will keep this never, never close. And once we have done the testing, we will, if opened by the app. So if UiPath will open, then only that browser will be closed. If we will select this option, second option. Okay, so let's see the progress so far. I have closed the browser, run the file. You see it has clicked on the arrival, but it has not clicked on the domestic. We have to check the selector. So let's try to change the targeting method. So here it is fuzzy logic and it is not using the text, but it is using the image. So image might be incorrect sometimes because you see in the image there is blue dot, and when website is getting loaded you see this dot is not there. So sometime it can be there or sometime it cannot be there. So either we can change the image, or there is another way. Don't use the image. So you can go here, you we can just select this, and then you select another method which is native text along with the selector, and you have to provide the text of the element. So text of the element is domestic, domestic, same thing you have to use. So where is the native text here? Okay, now just save this. Let's try once again. I will close this, and you don't have to close again and again. You can start from here. Use application will automatically detect that. By default, if not open, then only it will open. That is the default value of it. But I will close for the explanation purpose. Save and run file. Site is loaded. It has clicked on domestic. It has clicked on arrivals also. Yes. So now let's see the file. If file is generated or not. You have Delhi data here. Okay. Now let's see the log message. 495 Delhi domestic arrival rows. 495 is the count. The log message which we have added. Okay, so now I will repeat all of these steps for all four tabs. Now come here, take a click activity, and I will be little faster because I have already explained these are the same steps which we are going to repeat. Only difference is that we have to append the data in the existing file because we have already generated the file in the first sequence. Click, indicate, domestic. We want to use selector. We don't want to use a fuzzy selector. Validate. So validation is successful. Confirm. So selector and image, again, we don't want to use image. We want to use native text. It was not captured. I don't know the reason why. So I am just validating once again. And here, okay, and then click on departure. Click. So you have to ensure that you work inside the departure sequence only. Minimize this one because we are done with this. And here you can select departure. So you see the image, sometime it might be highlighted or sometime it might be whitish. So the best thing is that you should use the image when colors are not changing or images are not changing. So here also we will deselect this. Now this time let's go with the fuzzy selector. Confirm. So again, let's validate. Native text is not captured. We have selected the native text and we will enter native text here. It is case sensitive. Okay. And then after that, we have to add UiPath table extraction. And before we start the extraction, what we have to do is we have to manually reach on the right table. So domestic departure. Click on departure. Now you have the right table here, departed. Okay. Add data. Try to go closer to the text. Yes. Delete. Gate number is not required here. Status is required. All right. Now save. Ignore this because we don't have any HTML element. If you have any HTML element, you have to indicate from here. You have to go back, indicate the next button or icon of the next page. As of now, we don't have any next button on this page. You can see. Just do continue. So you have the extracted result here. Now we have to get a log message first of all. Delhi domestic departure rows plus exit data table dot rows rows dot count dot to string. Okay, now we have to append this data into the existing data. So we will use UiPath append CSV activity. File path we have already taken in the variable in, and this data table is extracted data table. That's it. The sequence is completed. You can minimize the activities, and then we will test everything together in the end. So two activities are done for domestic. We will come on international now. So first click again. Click on international, and we will not use image again. We can use fuzzy selector. Let's try to use selector. Now validate. Yeah. So when we are using selector and fuzzy selector, then we are able to find it without image also. Let's select both of these. Confirm. After clicking on international, we have to first take the arrival because the sequence is Delhi International Arrival. So take one more UiPath click activity. Indicate the element. So this time it is arrival. Let's use selector, and let's not use image. Validate. Validation successful, and confirm. Alright, minimize both of these activities, and before we start data extraction, select international and select arrivals. Okay, and now you can extract the data. Table extraction, add data, select your header, and you will get this pop-up from UiPath data extraction activity. Yes, belt number we have to delete. You can save the output of this UiPath data table extraction activity. We don't have any next button. Continue. And you have to mind this, like this extraction should come after arrivals. So you can drag the arrivals on the top of the table extraction table. And then after a log message, the Delhi International Arrival rose. And then we have to append this data into the CSV. We already have the file path in a variable. Data table is the extracted data table. international arrival, and next sequence is international departure. Right. So we have to take one click activity similar to all three steps. International. We use selector and fuzzy selector, and we don't want to use image. Validate. Validation is successful. Confirm. Minimize this, and from this plus sign, or you can use Control Shift T. Again, UiPath click activity, and after international, we have to click on departure. Don't use image again. Use selector and fuzzy logic, and anchor is automatically coming, so you can use the anchor also. Validate. Validation is successful, and confirm. We have got both. Now next we have to come on the right table. So click on international is already selected. Click on departure. Table is loaded. Now we can use UiPath data table extraction. Add data. Select your header. Yes, all the columns. Delete gate number. And if you have next button, you can go here and select the next button, but we don't have any next button here on this page. Click on save. You will see this pop-up. Ignore this because we don't have any next button or any HTML element for next button. Right, so we are done with the data table extraction using UiPath extraction activity. Now we have to write the log message. So let's take UiPath log activity, log message activity. Delhi International Departure rows plus select write the table rows dot count dot post. We will keep the log message here so that we can, and now we have to append this data in the CSV file. All same activities which we are doing. You can fast forward the video. All right, so we have completed the extraction for all four sequences. You can see five actions, five actions, five actions, five actions. Now, if we look at the data, let me open the file once again. So we will not be getting we will get all of these columns, but we will not understand which is the departure or which is the international, which you have to look at the names or you have to look at other pointers to understand that, which is a very time taken. So what you can do, we can add one more column with default value. So how to add new column in UiPath data table with default value? So to add new column, I will use UiPath add column activity with default value. So before we are writing the data in the CSV file, we have to add the column. So here I will add before log message, add column. So you can give the column name. You can leave this first option as it is. This is category. You can give the data table name, extraction data table. It will be added before it is. So this activity will write the default value. We can choose the value here. We are in the domestic arrival sequence, DOM. That's enough as an indicator. You can copy this activity from here because column name and data table will remain same in all four sequences. You just have to change this default value. Come back, go to the sequence 2, before log message, paste it, change the value here, domestic departure. Okay, go in the next sequence, international arrival, before log message. You can see keep saving. Last one, before log message, international, departure. All right, I found one mistake here. So this is not write CSV. We have to write CSV only in the first sequence. So let me change this to append CSV again. It is append CSV. File path is already in the variable, and this is it's corrected on the right time because of the add column. All right. So I think we are good to test this, and let's close this browser. You can delete the existing file if you want, and then save and run the file. We cannot debug the file because we don't have anything in main right now. So we just come here and then run the file. So it has loaded the site. It should click on domestic now. Domestic arrival. Yes, arrival is clicked. Now it should arrival is loaded. Now departure is clicked. Departure is loaded. It's clicked on international, and it should come on arrival now. Yes, it has come. Now this UiPath project is departure international. So everything is done. Let's go and check. You have the data here. Open the file now. Scroll down. Domestic departure is recorded. International arrival is recorded. And international departure is also captured. This is how you extract the data from website, and we are doing the good progress in this UiPath project. If you find this video and this project is useful for you, please share the link to your social media channel. That will be a great help for me so that people can learn and my channel can grow. And if you find any difficulty in between at any point, you can just mention the time and then mention your question there. I will try to answer as soon as possible. So in the next video, we will connect all the workflows together and we will create one more workflow which will insert this data into SQL. Okay, so see you in the next video. Till that time, please practice this, whatever is done so far.